Welcome to a bonus episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. My name is Dan. Today we're going to cover the Minnesota Twins baseball. A little hot stove action. Hot stove meaning a little off season. What I've done is put together the Twins defense as we sit right now. Minnesota Twins defense. So we're not going to be talking about pitching, starting, relief pitching, bullpen. We're not going to talk about DH, but perhaps a little on DH. But we're going to look at the 40-man roster, all at the top three levels, each by position. So currently where we sit right now, here we are by position. Basically the depth chart at the major league level, down AAA, down to AA. For the purpose of this show, I'm not going to get into high A, low A, the rookie league, things like that. Now, each of the names here, and we're going to be covering here on the show, there's a triangle on the top right of each of the cells here. This is just an Excel spreadsheet. Each of those notations means I've got a comment. In each one of those areas, and we'll go through the comments of each of these to give a little more perspective on the Twins. We have a change. We had just an update today. Joey Gallo, right fielder, I've got here as a right fielder, signed with the Twins. The Twins right now, 40-man roster is sitting at 41 players. So let's go to the live spreadsheet. Here we go. You can see my mouse here. Let's start at the catchers. At the major league level, we've got Ryan Jeffers, of course. We have newly signed Christian Vasquez. Vasquez signed a 3-year deal. Those two platoon defensively. I'm not sure if Vasquez would be a DH when Jeffers is catching, but I would see when Vasquez is catching, Jeffers could be the DH. So those are the only two on the 40-man roster right now on the Twins for catching. If we go straight down into AAA, we've got Williams, Nigro, Bechtold, Banuelos. So we've got 4 catchers in AAA for the Saints right now. And typically they'll go with 2 or 3 guys. So something's going to happen there. We have some extra depth at the AAA level. We also have depth at the AA level with Isola, Schmidt, and Tatum. Now, for the purpose of the show, I don't have any comments for the catching. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We're pretty much set there. First base, another easy one. Nothing too much to look at. Luis Arraez won the batting title in the American League last year. He'll be at first. He can also play second, also play left field in the outfield. We won't touch too much on first base for tonight's show. Now, we do have White just signed from the Brewers last week. He's really, I think, the only first baseman they've got at the Saints right now for the St. Paul Saints. He can come up in a moment's notice also. And if there's been rumors of possibly trading Arraez, I think that's what prompted the signing of White. Now, if Arraez does get traded, we also have Alex Kirilloff, who could play first, or maybe the reason they signed White to move him up as well, has major league experience. Now, the interesting thing is here with Sabato, first round pick by the Twins, big hitter, possibly could be fast-tracked to the majors. This is a guy the Twins really like, and so it won't be a factor for this season. But in 2024 or 2025, look for Sabato to be the starting first baseman, an everyday power-hitting first baseman. And so regardless of what we do with Arraez this year, we'll have to do something with him in the next year or two. If we sign him long-term, look for Sabato to be trade bait. Very good trade bait, by the way. We could get some. He's a very top prospect. Second base, Polanco. We've got Polanco here. Now, interesting. We're deep in AAA at second base. Eduardo Eduardo Julian just finished winning the batting title in the Arizona Fall League in 2022. He was in Double A last year. I can only assume, for the purpose of this spreadsheet, that he will be spending the year or starting the year in Triple A. Now we got a logjam. We already have Hellman there, Michael Hellman, who's actually very high on the prospect list also. He's a year, probably at the most, or two, one or two, of being in the big leagues. The nice thing there is he also plays outfield. The Twins do seem to like players that can play multiple positions. Hellman may come up this year with the Twins. Julian, I don't think will come up right away, but it's probably a year out also, which means what are we going to do with Polanco? He probably has a year or two left. We got some good talent here coming up. Now, Fajardo signed from the Pirates this offseason. Pirates farm system, also second base. Will be interesting to see what happens there at second here in AAA or in the majors. Now in AA this year, Severino, AA, has played 316 minor league games. He's been basically a career minor leaguer. I'm not sure if his path is to come up or if there's a logjam there or if he's going to hang out in AA and AAA. Not sure if he'll even make the majors. Not sure here with this talent here above him. Shortstop is really where I want to focus tonight's show on. Lots of talk on internet forums and on the internet and on Twitter and on Facebook of how weak we are at shortstop. We lost Correa. Correa went to the Giants, and we had him last year for $35 million. Really opened up the checkbook to bring in a big dog player. Really, it wasn't too bad that he opted out because we got so much depth here. Now, we did sign Kyle Farmer. Farmer signed a one-year deal from the Reds. He could be an immediate guy here for this 1 year gap, for this single year. It's kind of questionable what's going to happen in 2023 for the Twins. Farmer's been around for a while, can hit the long ball. He will be a 1 year, I'm guessing, an immediate starter there. Now, the reason we have this question is Royce Lewis. In 2017, he was the first overall pick in the draft. Not just the Twins' first round pick, the first overall pick in all the major leagues. Now, he was injured again, won't be available until mid-season. So I think that's why they picked up Farmer. Lewis should be ready to go. Now, with his second time having that ACL or MCL, whichever one it is, it'll be interesting to see how he comes back from that. But because he has so much talent, I'm not really going to, there's not a lot of downside there, I don't think. Now, keep in mind, Nick Gordon, in 2014, he was the 5th overall player drafted in the entire draft. Phenomenal talent. His natural position is shortstop. Now, the Twins have used him at second. Twins have used him in short. Twins have used him in left, I think center and right as well. They like him because he has ability. He's a utility, a super utility guy, essentially. Now, because the Twins are short at shortstop, I don't see Nick Gordon even being mentioned as far as taking on and coming in there and playing along with Farmer, or being the backup for Farmer until Royce Lewis is good to go. Because we have so much depth elsewhere, especially at outfield, and we have Gordon, why not drop him in as a shortstop? That is his position. He was the #1 draft pick as a shortstop. Now, maybe he's not the caliber of Correa, but that is fine. He's certainly serviceable. We're looking to get 1 year because Lewis will be back. Farmer will be gone next year. But now check this out. Austin Martin. Austin Martin was the 5th overall pick in the 2020 draft. First round pick by the Blue Jays. We picked him up in the deal that sent Berrios to the Blue Jays. Now, I haven't seen any mention of Austin Martin in the talk for a Twins shortstop. If something happens with Farmer a month or two into the season, I think you got Austin Martin ready to rock. Tremendous talent. on the base paths, can steal, can hit for average, can hit for power, I believe, as well. Now, we also have Soto down there. Elliott Soto has played a total of 1,017 games in the minors, a kind of a career minor league game. Has had a couple cups of coffee in the pros a couple times, but I don't see that happening here. But because they've got no solid shortstop, once again, Soto could come up and play that immediately. Austin Martin finished the year in Double-A, has never played even Triple-A for the Twins. So that's why I've got him spending the entire year or much of the year in Triple-A. Because of his talent, he could be a guy also that you could foresee skipping Triple-A altogether and moving right up. So you got Soto there, a veteran guy. Austin Martin just came off leading the Arizona Fall League in about 6 different offensive categories and finished in the top 3 in batting, the batting title. Tremendous, going against baseball's best and brightest future stars. Austin Martin is a guy we got to look at. He could come in, certainly if Royce Lewis is not the guy or does not come back healthy. Farmer's gone. I don't see Gordon as a long-term fix. Lewis could be that long-term fix, and if he is, then we got a problem with where to put Martin. If Lewis is there full-time and good to go, Martin could become trade bait. Huge, huge piece of trade bait. If Lewis is a dud, it's not going to work, and is coming back at 50% and maybe never going to regain that form that he had, Austin Martin, I believe, is our long-term fix at shortstop. Now, keep in mind, I was never a believer to go out for the Twins to get Correa back anyway. Very glad the Twins did not sign Correa on a long-term deal. We've got some studs here coming up. Now check this out. In Double-A, here's what I've got for Double-A. Just in the shortstop position, you got Yakey, a 2021 10th round pick, probably a couple years yet from moving up to the majors, if at all. Holland, a 2019 5th round pick. Prato, a 2019 7th round pick. Brooks Lee, the 2022 8th overall pick, first round for the Twins. First round draft pick. We'll see him in Double-A, I'm assuming, this year. That's why I've got him there. 8th overall pick. Big prospect. I think with Lewis and Martin, I think it's going to be Mr. Brooks Lee here breathing down their backs to make it. Now, he's already set on the website of the Twins website at ETA to make the Twins on the Major League roster in 2024. So once again, 2023 could be a crapshoot of shortstops. But if Lee is the real deal, he could be up sometime. We're talking in 2 years. A lot of depth going to be in Double-A this year. Now, these are my projections, by the way. Some of these guys could be in Single-A. They might be in Triple-A. They might be in High or Low A. But Lee is going to be one of those guys who's going to be fast-tracked up to the majors. Now, you got Sheffield here. Sheffield, also a 2022, a 10th round pick. He has already moved up 3 levels in 2022 and has already been plugged in to play 14 games at shortstop in the Triple-A for the Saints. The man was just drafted last July. Sheffield, a lot of talent. So the Twins, when it comes to shortstops, for depth, loaded at shortstop. Now we also signed Martinez from the Astros farm system. So right there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shortstops in the depth chart. Now there's typically, each of these teams will carry two or three at the most. So 3, 6, 9. 9 would be at the most. We got 11 chomping at the bit. So something has got to give on the shortstops. And I know the Twins are looking, a lot of folks on the fan section and on the forums are looking to get a big name player. We may do that. We may end up getting a big name player. But someone has got to go. There's going to be a lot of trade bait out there with some of these other talented individuals. We could get a lot in return for some of these guys. Lee, for instance, if Lewis works out, or Austin Martin, we could get some huge starting pitching in exchange in a trade for some offseason for Lee. very talented guy. Sheffield, also talented. Martinez, good guy. Now, check this out. I've got a bucket called Future. There's 3 players right now on the Twins' top 30 prospect list that are shortstops, not even including the ones I've already mentioned. Let's scroll down here a little bit. Schobel, check this out. 68th overall pick in 2022. This was last July. A stud from Virginia Tech. Now, he's not going to be in AA or AAA anytime soon. Chomping at the bit in the year 2024, I'm sure Schobel will be up in the hunt in 2024 and 2025. Check this out. Miller, 36th overall pick in the draft. This is essentially a second-round draft pick for the Minnesota Twins in 2021. Noah Miller, another stud. Keep in mind, these are all a couple years out for these guys. Now, we've got Danny DeAndre. Already the Twins have got him on the prospect as an ETA to reach the majors in the year 2025. He's the 22nd Twins prospect. Now, with these 11, 12, 13, we've got 14 players here in the Twins organization that are pretty talented shortstops. Not top of the top, cream of the crop, Carlos Correa. Those are blue chip. That's a blue chip player we're talking about here. But we've got talent. We've got talent at shortstop, plenty of it. So much so that I'm expecting the Twins for trading to get some pitching or whatever else that we need. You're going to be seeing some shortstops being dealt here because of the depth. Now I don't want to spend too much time at third base because we've got Miranda there. Got Rucker coming up, a 7th-round pick in 2021. Camargo going to be with the Saints this year. Both those guys, I think, will platoon with the Saints. He has a lot of major league experience, a lot of minor leagues as well, but this guy has bounced around between the Braves and the Phillies last couple of seasons and has 416 major league games under his belt. Anything happens to Miranda, this guy could be plug and play as well. Rucker's an authentic guy that we drafted up through the farm system, and that's all ready to be in 2023 to be at AAA level for Rutgers, actually very advanced. Now in AA, we have Gray. I'm assuming he's going to start the season in AA, and Cavaco. Gray's a 4th-round pick out of 20 in 2019. Now, there's 40 rounds of the draft. And in the past there was, so remember, 4th round, anyone in the top 5 rounds of picks, they're going to put some investment in and push these guys forward. Gray's one of those guys. Cavaco. Now check this out. In 2019, he was the Twins' 1st-round pick. He's another guy that's going to be giving Miranda a run for his money, moving up the depth chart in the next couple of years. He played shortstop in high school. All he's ever played with shortstop. Once they drafted him, they converted him to third. He played a little at both positions last year, but he should be in AA this year as a third baseman. Now, we've just got done mentioning all the depth at shortstop. Cavaco is another guy. He's got a better arm, stronger arm for third base, they say in the scouting, but he's a natural shortstop, much like Nick Gordon, natural shortstop. So if we need to limp our way through the first half of the season, the Twins have plenty of guys that could do it. Once Lewis comes back, I think that'll answer some of that. But boy, this Cavaco, talented kid as well. Last of all, we're going to touch base in the outfield. Twins have lots of outfield depth, lots of talented outfield depth. Let's go to Kirilloff, 1st-round pick. 2016 Twins 1st-round draft pick, Alex Kirilloff. Well, I think this is the last year they got to do something with him in 2023. He's either going to be an everyday left fielder, possibly a DH, or they could move him to first. He also plays first base. So once again, if they move Arraez on a big trade, they'll get something big for Arraez in return and could move and shift Kirilloff over to be an everyday first baseman. Now, keep in mind, Arraez was in the finalists to win a Gold Glove this year in the first year he's ever even played first base in his pro background. So he's developed. He was a candidate for the Gold Glove award at first. He hasn't played it. Arraez is a second, kind of a shortstop, second baseman guy. So we got to do something with Kirilloff. He's going to make the team. He's on the 40-man roster, but where is he going to play? Garlick, we just signed a one-year deal to bring him back. So I think this is last year for Kyle Garlick. He's an immediate starter as well. Can play multiple outfield positions, including center field, and can hit. The problem is, what are you going to do with Larnach, Trevor Larnach? Yet another first-round pick that the Twins have. So we gotta do something here in left field. One of these guys, Kirilloff or Larnach, is going to be your long-term fix, long-term left fielder of the future. Garlick is just a one-year guy for this year until the dust settles on what we're going to do with Kirilloff and Larnach. Now, Solari, Alec Solari, a second-round pick in 2020. He's another guy that can play even second base, but he's a tremendous outfielder as well. I've got him there at left. I'm not sure what position he is officially. I think he's a corner outfielder. But we've got Solari and Larnach pushing these two guys. Buxton, of course, in center field. Second overall pick back in 2012. We've got Celestino behind him as a backup. He was acquired by the Astros at age 17. The Astros picked him up and has been playing pro ball ever since. Celestino's a young guy, 23 years old. Never went to college. They picked him up right away in the international draft. The Twins got him, I think, in the Ryan Presley trade. Celestino's another good guy, mainly center field. Mainly center field behind Buxton. Now, the Twins have Smith in AAA. I'm assuming he'll be in AAA this year. He was a seventh-round pick in 2019 by the San Francisco Giants. He's another very good, talented guy coming up, and they're going to need to do something with him in the next year. Now, further down, AA, Keirsey, fourth-round pick by the Twins in 2018. Very talented. And you get Kenny Taylor, formerly drafted by the Mets out of Duke, plays very good center field. And so once again, we only have one. I only see one outfielder there for center field for the Saints this year. Something's got to give, but we've got a lot of talent up there. Look for trade bait, trade possibilities. Twins looking for pitching. Twins looking for shortstop. They have an abundance of outfielders. Now, right field, Max Kepler. Longtime Twin, Max Kepler, could be in the trading block. He could be out there. He's mainly a right field, long-term, everyday right fielder for the Twins. Now, the problem is we've got Wallner coming up. Matt Wallner, 39th overall pick from the 2019 draft, Forest Lake, Minnesota. He's basically, if we can move Kepler, Wallner will be the guy. The problem is we signed Gallo today. One-year deal for $1 million, or for I think it's 10 or 11 million. I think 11 million for a one-year deal. Gallo will be playing somewhere, will not be on the bench. So where does Wallner play? Will Wallner be the DH? Will Kepler be gone? Where does that put Kirilloff? Garlick's on a one-year deal too. They got to get him in the lineup. Typically, the Twins in the past go with four outfielders, a left, center, and a right, and then a fourth guy. Jake Cave was a popular fourth outfielder for the Twins the last couple of years. So, what happens with Kirilloff and Garlick? Gallo will play for sure. Wallner's got to play. He could be the DH, which means Kepler's going to be gone. A lot of room there. Now we got Contreras coming up. Contreras, I think, is going to start the year in AAA. I don't see anywhere else. He's already played in the big leagues. He was already with the Twins. He was a ninth-round draft pick in 2017. He's very good as well. I don't see him making the Twins even opening day roster. So he'll be an everyday starter in AAA with the Saints. Now moving down to AA, we got Willie Joe Gary Jr. He's another guy that there's high hopes for him. Kyler Fedko. Kyler Fedko down in Double A, I think, this year. So there's lots of talent in the outfield spots. Now, keep in mind, I'm not mentioning Nick Gordon in the outfield as well because now you have him. Some say Nick Gordon could be the fourth outfielder. In an upcoming trade, if there's upcoming trades here in the hot stove league in the offseason, look for the Twins to deal some outfielders. A lot of teams are looking for outfielders. Fedko's a good college stud as well. Gary can cover a lot of ground. Now, because we have all this talent in the outfield, one thing we haven't brought up, the future. We're only a couple years away from seeing Misiel Urbina come up. He's already listed as a top 30 prospect for the Twins. Where's he going to go? Emmanuel Rodriguez, another stud, one of the top international outfielders drafted a few years back. They're already considered prospects for the Twins, and they'll be making their emergence up in a couple of years up into these roles here, which means something else has got to give. Twins have a lot of guys. So Joey Gallo signed today. Twins picked him up. He's going to be they're going to have to make a move because they got 41 guys in the roster right now. Someone will have to be cut or removed. That could certainly be a pitcher. It also could be someone that we're currently talking about here on tonight's show. So here's what I've got. Here's the group. Here's what we went over in tonight's episode. Each of the 9 positions, we're going 3 levels deep in the Twins' professional organization, from pro to AAA to AA. Essentially a depth chart by position. We're not covering single, high A, low A, or rookie. So this is what we've got right now. It's moving. It's very fluid, by the way. Very fluid. It's only December 16th. But February is going to roll around quick when the players, pitchers, and catchers start reporting to camp. I think the Twins are set up pretty good defensively. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dan. Today's a Sports and Songs bonus episode. Today's December 16th, 2022. Thanks for listening.